Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Dr. Aina. Today my group and I will be presenting on a case study about the toxic team leader. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Asma binti Narazan and my marriage number is 2023816956. So let's be moving on to the introduction and background. So basically, Dynamic Creative is a performance-oriented organization that strongly emphasizes achieving targets and operational results. While the company consistently delivers high-quality outcomes, this strong focus on performance has sometimes overshadowed employee well-being and workplace culture. Recently, several junior employees submitted anonymous complaints to HR regarding their team leaders, Chris. This complaint described Chris' leadership style as aggressive, involving public criticisms, sarcastic remarks, and unrealistic deadlines. Although the team continues to meet performance expectations, employees report increased stress, fear, and declining mental health. This situation highlights the challenge HR faces in balancing strong performance results with psychological safety and employee well-being. The case demonstrates that leadership style plays a critical role in shaping team culture, engagement, and the long-term organizational sustainability. So next is the key problem. So the first key problem is leadership behavior issue. The first major issue relates to Chris' leadership behavior. Public criticisms during meeting negatively affect employees' dignity and morale, making them hesitant to speak up or share ideas. Research shows that such behavior reduces psychological safety and job satisfaction. In addition, Chris' frequent use of sarcasm and demeaning communication contributes to a hostile environment, damaging employee self-esteem and discouraging collaboration. Unrealistic deadlines further increase stress and workload pressure. While short-term results may still be achieved, this leadership approach risks burnout and makes long-term performance unsustainable. Secondly is employee impact. This leadership behavior has significant impacts on employees. Many experience high stress level, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion, which negatively affect mental health and overall productivity. Employees are also afraid to speak up, leading to a culture of silence where issues are not reported and learning opportunities are lost. Over time, this environment increases employees' intentions to resign, raising the risk of turnover and loss of talents. Trust in leadership is also weak, which further reduces engagements and commitment. Lastly is organizational concern. From an organizational perspective, the team's high performance is achieved through an unsustainable culture driven by fear and pressure. While results are delivered in the short term, employee morale and engagement decline over time. There is also a high risk of turnover, which can disrupt operation and increase recruitment costs. HR has a responsibility to protect employees while maintaining productivity. This case highlights the conflict between short-term results and long-term employee well-being, emphasizing the needs for leadership's approach that balance performance with psychological safety. Now, I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shahira Christina binti Muhammad Fauzi, and I will explain our answer to question 1, which is how to manage the mediation process for Chris and his team to acknowledge the problem. The first step are preparing the mediation by evaluating suitability and power disparity. The first phase is preparation. The human resource must determine whether mediation is necessary, identify all parties involved, and identify the power imbalance between Chris and his subordinate. A stern, neutral, and safe setting is required to help juniors feel comfortable expressing their problems. A private or neutral location promotes employee empowerment by allowing for conversation and decision-making. This approach promotes culture of trust and collaboration, stronger employee engagement and creativity, and open communication are welcome. This benefiting to organization. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shahira Christina binti Muhammad Fauzi, and I will explain our. The next step is implementing the mediation process and promoting the recognition of the achievement. In this phase, which called introduction, human resource emphasizes the objective of neutrality, safeguarding privacy, consent, involvement, and basic guidelines. human resource as third party is critical in resolving the problem and establish trust with employee. The mediation technique encourages consensus, loyalty, and associated cooperation, which help organizations achieve their objective. Human resource establish best practice to promote the fairness and openness of the mediation process, hence creating an environment conducive to dispute resolution. Human resource voluntarily praise about this performance to reduce the defenses patterns but emphasize enhancing team chemistry and communication. Recognizing individual contribution during the mediation session reduce defensive views of the team members and result in fruitful discussion and decrease conflict rise. The next step is implementing the mediation process and promoting the recognition of the achievement. In this phase, the next step is make the responses more transparent, neutral language with minimal disruption. In this phase, which is non-statement phase, each person discusses their encounters uninterrupted. Human resource listen carefully, explain in objective tone, facilitate respectful engagement. The subordinate express their concern about their challenges and deadlines, while Chris, the team leader, make suggestions for how performance might be maintained. Empathic listening is an important component of active listening in mediation, where the mediator's responsibility is to offer the speaker their whole intention in order for them to enhance their attention and concern, so improving the quality of the interaction. Paraphrasing and summarizing are very important skills of the mediator. This ensures understanding between the partners and help the mediator understand what the speaker thinks, thus reducing conflict and misunderstanding in the end. The next step is make the responses more transparent, neutral language with minimal disruption. The next step is to explore the key issue and lead constructive dialogue. In this phase, is agenda and construction exploration phase. Human resource recognize important concerns such communication tone, feedback style, and task demands. Human resource mediators should encourage empathy on both parties. An effective communication style foster an open discourse and a calm environment, while feedback allow for improved teamwork and individual interests, resulting in effective outcomes. Enforceable mediation reduces misunderstanding by allowing mediators to see different points of view at once, interact effectively. Non-aggressive statement will encourage problem-solving attitude and cooperation, and eventually putting the interests of all parties in the long-term contentment. The next step is to explore the key issue and lead constructive dialogue. The last step in this process is to negotiate behavioral and formulate follow-up arrangement. In this phase, human resource assists individuals in developing practical, future-oriented solution actions such as providing confidential feedback, establishing realistic time limitation, and speaking respectfully. The agreement is documented and follow-up meetings may be scheduled to monitor progress and ensure long-term conflict management. Human resource role is to improve teamwork, eliminating conflict by facilitating the establishment of constructive communication channels, and encourage employee trust through personal relationship. Ensuring the continuous improvement by follow-ups, human resource can be used to make the organization environment unified and focus on efficient functioning of the organization. That's all from me. Next, I will pass to the next presenter. The last step in this process is to negotiate behavioral and formulate follow-up arrangements.
Thank you, Christina. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I pray to Dr. Ainaidayu binti Iskandar. I am Nur Ifah Shazwani binti Awang. Now, I will be continuing the discussion by presenting the negotiation strategy human resource should employ to secure Chris' commitment to changing his communication style, while linking his future success to his ability to retain and develop talent. First and foremost, HR should adopt an interest-based and win-win negotiation approach. According to the negotiation styles, a win-win strategy focuses on collaboration rather than confrontation. Instead of framing the discussion as a correction of Chris' behavior, HR should position it as a shared effort to improve teamwork, leadership effectiveness, and long-term organizational success. By identifying common interests such as productivity, employee engagement, and talent retention, HR can reduce defensiveness and create a psychologically safe environment. This reflects the chapter's emphasis on finding common ground and value creation during conflict resolution. Secondly, HR must rely on an evidence-based and objective presentation of issues. It highlights the importance of avoiding emotional reactions and focusing on objective criteria when managing employee-employer conflicts. In this case, HR should present anonymized data such as employee survey results, turnover trends, and feedback patterns to demonstrate the impact of Chris' communication style. Presenting this information as part of a leadership development diagnostic rather than a personal attack allows the problem to be separated from the individual. This structure and rational approach aligns with the chapter's recommendation to objectify disputes and facilitate constructive dialogue. Thirdly, HR should align behavioral change with Chris' personal and professional interests, which corresponds to phase 3 of the negotiation process, which is exploring needs and discovering interests. By highlighting how supportive communication enhances team loyalty, innovation, and performance, HR can reframe the issues as an opportunity for Chris' leadership growth. This strategy acknowledges individual motivation, a key element in effective negotiation as discussed in this chapter. Finally, HR must formalize the agreement by linking leadership behavior to future success and rewards. In line with Phase 5 agreement making, HR should integrate communication and people management competencies into performance evaluations, promotions, and leadership opportunities. This ensures accountability and reinforces the organization's expectation that effective leadership includes the ability to retain and develop talent, not just achieve short-term results. That's all from me. Now I'll pass to the next presenter.
Hi, Assalamualaikum Dr. Aina. My name is Nur Eliadrana binti Jaafar. So, after understanding how Chris' leadership negatively affected the team, I will now explain the support mechanisms that HR can put in place to repair the damage, support employees, and also rebuild the trust. So, to begin with, HR must prioritize employee mental health. Chris' leadership style created fear, stress, and emotional exhaustion among team members. Research clearly shows that toxic leadership increases anxiety, burnout, and dissatisfaction at work. And one important support mechanism is a confidential employee assistance program, or we called it as EAP. Because employees were afraid to approach Chris directly, confidentiality is critical. The EAP allows employees to seek professional counseling without fear of punishment or retaliation. So this not only helps them to cope emotionally, but also shows that the organization genuinely cares about their well-being. In addition to that, HR should also introduce regular mental health check-ins. Many employees, especially the younger ones, may hesitate to reach out on their own in a fear-based environment. In monthly, confidential check-ins allow HR to identify stress early before it leads to burnout or resignations. So this proactive approach helps employees to feel supported rather than ignored. So overall, these initiatives protect employees' mental health while sending a strong message that toxic leadership behavior is not acceptable. The second support mechanism focuses on addressing the root of the problem, which is Chris' leadership behavior. Although his team met performance targets, his harsh communication style severely damaged trust and psychological safety. So this shows that strong results do not justify harmful behavior. And one key intervention is intensive leadership coaching. Through coaching, Chris can better understand how his tone, public criticism, and sarcasm affect employees emotionally. Coaching also helps him learn more respectful and motivating ways to provide feedback and lead his team. Alongside with coaching, mandatory people management and communication training is also essential. Chris currently believes that his behavior is normal because it produces good results, Formal training can challenge this mindset by teaching emotional intelligence, empathy, and inclusive leadership. So this ensures accountability while giving him the tools to improve. Without these development efforts, the team will continue to experience emotional distress and also the high turnover rate. Finally, HR must focus on rebuilding trust at the team level, not just fixing individual behavior. Chris' leadership destroyed psychological safety, which affect that employees avoided speaking up, skipped meetings, and feared being criticized publicly. So, to repair this, HR should organize team building activities that focus on collaboration. These activities help team members reconnect, communicate openly, and rebuild trust in a safe environment. HR should also facilitate the creation of team code of conduct. This will include clear guidelines such as no public criticism, respectful private feedback, and shared discussions around the deadlines. For your information, involving employees in setting these rules gives them a sense of control and helps establish a healthier team culture moving forward. So, in short, these support mechanisms protect employees, correct harmful leadership behavior, and also restore psychological safety within the team. So that's all from me. I will now pass to the next presenter.
My name is Sharifah Nur Halisa binti Idris, and I'm going to explain about the solution that should be implemented for Chris and the team. So the first solution that can be implemented is counseling. Counseling should be compulsory since the employees are suffering from poor mental health due to toxic work environment. The root cause can decrease the job performance and also jeopardize mental health conditions. Without necessary curative measures such as counseling, toxic conditions will become the norm in future. Study shows that Malaysia has an increasing number of employees suffering from various mental illness such as anxiety, mental illness, and depression because of their working lives. Since conflict is inevitable, counseling is one of the measurements that can help transform it from destructive to constructive and foster mutually beneficial relationships. Counseling after conflict can help in repairing relationships by improving communication and rebuild trust among the employees that are affected by toxic environment. The second solution that should be implemented is leadership role in conflict management. Chris should play his role as the team leader in managing conflict. There are several key roles that Chris should prioritize, such as preventive roles, facilitator roles, and decision-making roles. If he fails to play his role as a leader, the situation will most likely lead to deviant silence among employees, where employees intentionally hold any information with the aim to harm other individuals or their organizations as an act to reciprocate to their leader. Chris should build culture of respect and communication in his team to create a positive environment instead of thinking constructive feedback is helping to achieve the results. Other than that, decision-making role also plays a crucial part because Chris should know that he needs to balance interests of individuals and the organization. He should take into consideration his team's interests too. This is to ensure the best choice is made for his patient and not the choice he only likes or he thinks easy for him.
So the next part, I will pass to the next presenter.
In conclusion, toxic leadership like Chris affect both employees and organizational performance. While short-term results may still be achieved, fear-based leadership creates stress, burnout, and low trust which threaten long-term team effectiveness. To address this, organizations need a comprehensive approach such as supporting employees through counseling, stress management, and team building, while also developing leaders through coaching, training, and accountability measures. By balancing performance with psychological safety, companies can protect employee well-being, maintain high performance, and ensure sustainability, ethical leaderships. Without these measures, morale, retention, and overall effectiveness are at risk. That's all from us. Thank you for watching Dr. Aina. We hope you have a good day and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.